I love that time lapse. Like, what on earth?
That was like, what was that? Like 8 hours trimmed down to what, a minute and a half. Right?
Really? Are you serious? No, that was really cool to watch. I didn't know you actually knew how to build fence.
Well, I was just out there pointing at stuff.
Okay. Like, let's just be real honest, right?
Those ties look like they're a little too wide apart. Well, how wide should they be? I don't know, but damn it, just adjust it, would you?
Well, your team seems to take direction well. It was a pretty fence in the end. Why were you building a fence in your yard?
That's the chain link fence for our training for the university. So we're setting up some
Oh.
areas for the university. So we're working on it. It's obviously we're doing that around installing fence for ourselves. So it's a
No, I
work in
love
progress.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got a lot of things going on, with the Finch University. I shared the five-step program this morning. Like, what's up with that, yo?
How cool was that? How cool was that? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we went over it for a while. I've been working on that stuff. So the 5 step, it's let me pull some of it up. It's the stuff that that I've been saying that I needed for myself from the beginning as well. So we got 5 steps that for companies that are just kind of starting out that want to get a little bit more involved into growing their business and structuring it a little bit better, and maybe even working on little parts. Take 2 or 3 things out of the list that we're going to be working on, and it's going to be invaluable to changing your business. Stuff I've learned over the years, and we're going to have a lot of great speakers and a lot of great people coming in and helping with it. Like step
Well,
1.
what I love about it is, like, I'm just kinda, like, perusing over this. I feel like these are the things that you've actually taught me in the past 6 to 8 months, like, personally, like, just websites alone, like, and marketing, like, the social media accounts and stuff like that. Like, I had a decent presence and grasp on social media, but I mean, like, you changed the way I social media'd. You changed how I actually maintained a website and, like, to pay attention to how it looks on, a browser as opposed to how it looks on, your cell phone and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
these are things that everybody needs.
And these are it's not just building a website. I think that sometimes that's what we all think, but it is, the website is important. But I mean, you could have the most beautiful page in a yellow page book, back in the old days. But if no one ever flipped to your page, it's
Didn't
irrelevant.
matter.
It doesn't matter how pretty it is. So you could spend $1 million designing it, paying an art company to design your page. But if nobody ever flipped to that page, you never got the phone call. It didn't matter. But what do you do once you get that call? I mean, I think that it's getting tougher because salespeople are disappearing, and it's turning into a lot of order takers.
Yes, the art of sales is dying, I agree. Like, I mean, just like we see it every day, especially with the younger generation, they just pick up a phone. If the person on the other end doesn't know what they want, they're gonna call
yeah.
somebody else till if somebody finds out, like, "Hey, what do you need? Let's talk about this a little bit more," right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think to me, generating better leads is probably different than someone else too. Sometimes someone says generating better leads, maybe it's just they want to generate more and they want to just get rid of everybody that's not a guaranteed sale. And I think that we hurt ourselves on that because you have to spend a lot more money on marketing too. So there's 2 different strategies. You're either going to go organically and you're gonna get calls from some of the marketing and some of the stuff you're doing, and you got to work that lead a little bit harder, or you have another approach where you just market and spend a ton of money and then you just get rid of everybody, get rid of all the tire kickers, everybody that's not 100% positive that they want to do it. And then you're just down to that last core, 2 out of 10 that's actually going to buy something. And that's a strategy too. There's nothing wrong with that strategy, but it just means you got to invest more money into marketing. And a lot of these newer companies don't have that. They don't have the ability to dump $10,000-$20,000 a month into marketing to generate the leads they need as you grow and get older, and your business grows and gets older. Not you get older, I guess, with your business too, but as your business gets older, you end up with the funds, and you can do that. But in the beginning, I want to try to teach them how to generate better leads through basically different organic ways that are going to get the phone to ring, and then improving the phone sales. That's a big deal too. Like, what do you do when you answer the phone?
Right? No, seriously, like, just that whole answering the phone with a smile, like, is almost, like, dead to the world now, right? But, I
Yeah.
mean, I like that you're really bringing, something to the industry that all different size companies need, small, medium, and large, you know what I mean? And the price is right, like, and they're gonna walk out with, like, step 1 of a simple marketing plan, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, and every one of these, I'm going to go through the 5 steps real quick with you and show you. But every one of these, also as a member, you get up to 20% off anyway. So if you go in there, log in, you're probably already in our system because we have the largest member base in the country for an association. So you're most likely a member of FWA already. So when you log in and you reserve this thing through FWA, at fenceworkers.org, or even go to join FWA, and once you are logged in as a member, it changes the pricing for you. So you actually get up to 20% depending on what type of member you are. So that's a big deal too. So yeah, that's definitely something to look at. But we want people that aren't members too to be able to go in and take advantage of it. But
Yeah.
I think as we go through, what software, because software is a big factor in it now. What software is right? Creating social media, and this is where you're going to get a lot of my insights. And I think everybody knows I kind of came in and flipped this social media for our industry upside down, and it's
Yes.
I'm on a lot of people's watch lists. What's he doing now? Let's how are we going to copy and duplicate that? So I'm going to be
maybe not watch list, but maybe they're mute friends for a while.
I know I make it sound like the TSA is watching me, but yeah. And then kind of going over manage the directories and manage your directory listings and the why you got to be careful with tracking numbers, and you get if you don't own the phone numbers, you don't own your domains and things like this, right. How dangerous it gets when you're spending all this money building up traffic to numbers and stuff you don't know. So we're going to get into sales and marketing budgets, understanding your market and your area, stuff that I think everybody should know. And that's just I believe step one for everybody. They just got to and none of this stuff actually unless you're getting third-party services actually costs somebody anything at all. It's just time and effort to go through a lot of this and create. Social media is free. So unless you're going the route where you just want a ton of leads and you're going to throw away 80% of them, we're going to kind of show you how to actually generate more sales from the actual leads you're getting. But it's going to be more work.
Right? It is more work because they're saying now like it minimum of 10 touches before somebody actually makes a purchase from you, right? Yeah. So how do you keep people engaged for 10 separate conversations, right? To get quality leads. So do they need to bring a laptop to this course?
I would. I take my laptop everywhere. But I would bring one. If you don't, we're going to be able to still go over it with you. But I would, because we're going to help you set up and create your social media accounts. We're going to help you and show you how to do some social media content using this, and also FWA AI and all this stuff. So we're going to be going over that, and then we're going to be showing you how to set up calendars and things like this. But improving the phone sales is going to be simply when you answer the phone. Hey, do you set that appointment right then, or do you let that customer call the next number and try to set an appointment up with someone else? Field sales. Are you going to, if you don't, I'm a firm believer, if you don't ask for the sale and you went back to your office and you didn't get it, that's on you, because you never even asked for the sale while you were standing there in front of the customer. So, right. It's little things like that. And it's probably going to be a little old school, but that's just step one for fence marketing made simple. So I'm excited to get that. And that's going to be out in December 4th.
Heck yeah. What's step 2?
Step 2. We're looking at numbers. I call it the numbers workshop. It's probably a twist on know your numbers. Everybody, you hear that a lot. Know your numbers, know your numbers. And I think we are just so quick to throw phrases out. Hey, how much? What should I bid this job at? And all we do to tell people to help them is, well, you got to know your numbers. Well, that's great. Okay.
Where do you start with numbers?
Well, you take your profit and loss and you add markup to that, and you. Right. That's our advice. Okay. Well, what are our numbers? So. We're going to kind of get into a little bit and help them to show them the different ones, whether it's QuickBooks, whether it's Xero, whether it's going to be, using your accountant, and you maybe don't have your own accounting, so someone else does it. We're going to kind of get into that, reading your balance sheet, understanding the profit and loss statements, just basics though. I think you got to know the basics. And I think sometimes you do. And not we're not going to get into in depth with it, but I'm a firm believer you don't hire anybody to do anything you can't do yourself. Doesn't mean you can do it as good as that person you're hiring. So at least understand what your accountant's doing, because you'll never be as good as somebody that just focuses on something every day.
Right. And I see that's a 3-day class, and that makes sense because it's going to be a little more detailed, going from step 1 all the way, to actually basically understanding your P&L statement and your labor costs and stuff like that. I think this is just super awesome. I know you've been working on this and dreaming it for a while, but man, this is changing the industry, dude.
It's going to be cool. And that's the next month in January. So January 8th, I think that one is. And then, we're going to be bringing in a whole different class level of people in some of these different steps. So this one, we're bringing in some high caliber people that are trained not only in knowing about accounting, knowing about payables and accounts receivables, but actually know how to break it down to terms that we can understand.
Right? Teach me like I'm a kindergartner, man.
Yeah, workers' comp rates. Here we call them mod rates, and things like that. How it does affect that, and the cost of it, and then licensing and insurance cost. Your depreciating assets and expected maintenance, and knowing what these vehicles, everything's going to cost you to replace, and marketing and sales budgets, administrative expenses, and people don't realize there's a lot of that going on.
A lot
that you don't even realize that it's part of your business, and plan for help them kind of come up with a general plan to plan for your expected growth, direct and indirect labor costs and materials and consumables and things like this. So I'm excited to get into this because, if you don't know all this, you're not even going to get to the point, which is the next step.
Right. Step
which
3
is estimating.
Estimating.
The estimate workshop. So if you, this is my favorite part. I mean, I live in this world. This is I live in this part of it right here. So bidding residential projects and bidding commercial industrial projects, we tend to separate them in our industry, and I guess I grew up always bidding both. So I've never was on one side necessarily the other. So I grew up bidding residential. While we mainly do commercial industrial, I was bidding them both. So we are going to get into it. And what I consider commercial industrial is different than some. I don't consider it GC work and things like that. So but we're also going to get into designing your quote forms, because I don't think there's any one single thing that is as important on this other than getting your quote and asking for the sale out, the customer. I don't think there's any one thing that's any more important than designing your quote forms and having something that when it's basically your way of showing a customer that you understand what they wanted, and it's clear, simple, and is asking for the sale. So I think that we're going to get into a lot of different designing your quote forms and why you would want to do drawings over a paragraph and things like this, and how you lose jobs to a guy that's charging more money because he took the time to make it clear that he understood what the customer wanted. So working with subcontracts, while I don't do a lot of subcontracts, obviously I'm really familiar with them because we do them, and I mainly do commercials. So we'll be bringing people in on that. And here's something that I think the new guys and gals and any new fence company don't do: your terms and condition. I mean,
that's a big one.
It literally, every one of us starts off with a terms and condition section about like this. Mm-hmm. And after a year or two, it goes like this, this. And every one of the times it grows, it's a mistake you made, and it's just something you had to eat, some amount of money it costs you. By the time you're done, 5-10 years later, it's on the backside. It's like here. Right. It's you want to see how many mistakes and how much money every fence company had to eat. Go look at their terms and conditions.
Right.
It's in there. Because of a mistake we made. So I'm excited about that, and then getting into that. So anyway, without kind of going into great detail on that, presenting the quotes to the clients, that's a big deal. Knowing your project cost, which comes into knowing your numbers. Estimating software, man, there is just a ton of great estimating software out there. Not just estimating software, but lead generation stuff. You take My Salesman, you got ArcSight, you got Job Nimbus, you've got Contractor Accelerator. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
About how many different estimating softwares out there. So which one's good for you? Yeah, we'll go over it and go over some of that stuff, and hopefully we get every one of them in here to help present on some of that. In versus online estimates, what's the difference? I call online estimates sending them out or asking for the sale in person. Adding, here's going to be a good one. We're going to teach them how to add automatic gates.
I know a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know a few things. I'm sure you'll be helping on that. How building codes affect your bids. This is something I think I live in a highly regulated state, and I'm going to be getting into great detail about how that does affect what you can bid, where you're bidding, and things like that, and how how you need to cover yourself. Anyway, reading plans and specs and that basic stuff. But
I don't think reading plans and specs is basic. I had lots of customers who didn't know how to read plans and specs, and a lot of them didn't make any sense because got an architect somewhere copying and pasting.
From 1975, right? And it's like a vertical like aluminum slat or something that doesn't even exist anymore,
right?
and that's where all these RFIs come in, and we're just and we got to teach them what to do. You never just put on a bid, hey, this quote is per bids and plans, and half the time you don't even have all the plans and specs, and you know what I mean. Right. So we're going to get into some of that stuff on the estimating, but that's obviously a two-day conference, just on that stuff. So work orders. Man, this is, I think by
That's
the
a
time
good
we're done
one.
with these 5 steps, and we're almost to the 5th one here, you're going to have a pretty well-rounded company ready to go. And then there's a ton of advanced stuff out there for everybody that,
Right.
a lot of consultants and stuff like out there that can take you to the next level, but let's get them to the point where the consultants can even help them,
Right.
and I think that we've just spent the last 2 decades focusing on companies that are well established and, have enough money to travel and spend 15, 20,000 and go somewhere or things like that. So I think it's time that we help them out, and hopefully all of this gets recorded. Not hopefully, it's going to. And then over time,
Mhm.
after a couple of these, this will all be, we'll have multiple cameras on there, but because it'll be in our
Right.
training room, and it'll all go online.
I
So
love
we're
that.
excited about getting that out. So knowing, designing your work orders, I think this is a big deal. So we're going to be
It
going
is.
over and helping design your chain link iron with the help of, help with Sean King and everybody. We're going to be doing the wood and the vinyl work orders, knowing your job sites, understanding what you're going to be putting on the work orders, 811, dealing with utilities, material cost breakdowns, gate hardware, tracking labor, tracking tools, special orders. Anyway, we're going to go on and on that stuff. But yeah,
Right.
so I'm super excited to get into the work order part because that's a huge phase, to focus on as well. Step 5, this is it. We get to this point, you guys are ready to rock and roll. Workflows. What is that? Will you do material workups? Yeah, that's Yadira's asking. Definitely going to be helping people under in the estimating phase do chain link breakdowns and stuff. So we're going to be doing chain link, wood, vinyl, and helping you do material breakdowns.
Yes.
Well, hopefully these are just going to get even more and more in depth as we go. This one, and we're already into April. So by the time if you do kind of jump on board on this, by April, you'll be through all 5 steps. Designing workflow systems. So we're going to come up with some different workflows for leads, sales, projects, getting into a calendar, how you schedule your tools, equipments, customer communication. It's just going to get into great detail on that. Project management responsibilities, cruise responsibilities. It just goes on and on. Wow, that was more than I thought I was going to get
I
out.
love it. So, like, if you're a business owner, like, watching this, like,
Yep.
who is your ideal person that you want to send to all these 5 steps?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. You'd want to send. I thought you were asking someone, but yeah, I'm the only one on here, huh?
Yeah. But who would
you send
you
over there?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would send my sales. I mean, it depends on which one it is. Obviously, you'd want your key management to run through everything if they could. And then if you wanted to break it up and just send your sales team so they understand, and we're going to teach the salespeople how important it is to ask for the sale and to make sure the quotes look right and to present them and not waste your leads. Because sometimes a salesperson gets really busy and they've had a great month. We've sold hundreds of thousands this month or whatever they were expected to sell. Sold a big job, and they don't realize that every one of those leads, just because you sold a big job, every one of those leads cost you just as much to generate, whether it be in time or labor or pay-per-click or whatever marketing. So we're going to teach them how important it is to Yadira is full of questions here today, huh?
Did you not present this to her? Because I've been hearing about this 5-step course for a few minutes.
No, we've been playing that Monopoly. I don't know. Maybe she tells
Monopoly Go.
Monopoly Go. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? That's literally, we're obsessed with that. So I think when we go home, I think we barely even talk to each other than we're like, I'm the champion. It's like we just play Monopoly Go now.
That's kind of cool.
So what did she say though? I didn't read that one.
She said the people you want to send are your salespeople, project managers, and GMs.
Yeah. If you could send them to all of them, that's great. But you can pick and choose which one as you go, and we'll kind of see. But I'm super excited. We'll have more information. Go to, you can actually go to fenceuniversity.com, or you can go to fenceworkers.org, and you can see some of that stuff on there. I think we got the first 2 already on there that you can register for. And
Nice.
we'll be announcing some of the presenters and stuff that's going to be at that. But it's going to be a lot of hands-on, more hands-on than we're used to. So we're not just going to fill this with room full of people just talking to you. It's going to be in depth. We're going to actually, if there's any accounts that need to be set up, we're going to actually go there, help you log in. We're going to get the stuff set up with you and help you create content and things as well.
Well, that's what the Fence University does differently. They make sure that it's a hands-on experience, because you can read out of a book all day long, but when you go to actually put it into play, like, it's still brand new.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is you go out and you're just like, you go and you spend 2-3 days somewhere, a week somewhere, and spend all that money, and everything was built for, like I said, people that were, well established, where it really didn't matter. They're already set. They're just doing this for something to do, I think at this point. And then they go back and they're like, I still don't know what I'm doing, because you just watched some videos and you went over it, and it was just listening to people talk, and it wasn't really relating to the size of their company, maybe even sometimes. So so we're excited, but that's definitely, I appreciate you sharing it too. know?
No,
Anybody?
I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. You know what I mean? I definitely want to experience the class, and I definitely want to help with some of the courses or,
Yeah,
topics,
yeah,
especially stuff that I do understand and, have been working on for years in the
yeah.
industry.
What's up, Zach? Zach Romero's in the house. I think I just saw JC Gurry too, right? That was probably Mark.
Yeah.
That was probably Mark.
All of our people are here. I love it.
What are you just munching on cough drops? Is that what's going on?
Yes, I have like an upper respiratory infection and just like I'm trying not to you see me mute every now and then and I'm just trying to be respectful of the people listening, not cough into the microphone.
You, man, I remember that right after the show. I couldn't understand you. You couldn't even talk for like 4 days.
It was bad. Yeah, I know. And I still barely have a voice, but it's coming back. So,
Yeah,
I did go to the doctor and, they called me out some stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Tell me about Louisiana. What's going on up there? Aren't we going?
it's
Am I coming down there in November?
You are coming down here in November. So, I've been working with Louisiana Life Safety and Security Association, LLSSA, here in Louisiana actually for a few years, and have a really good relationship with those guys. They do two trade shows a year. One's like a smaller, like regional one, and then they do an entire state one down in Kenner, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Down in Kenner, Louisiana, and it's their national one, and that's going to be November 20th and 21st. And they were so kind as to offer us a table and some CEU courses to help with education. And Brian's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Is Jadir coming?
She's coming. Yeah,
Yes. So
for
we're going
sure.
to
Yeah.
eat good, and we're going to do some education. Hopefully, we're going to do like a networking event or something like that. And
Hey, who's interested in? Let's do a networking event right while we're there. Hey, who's ready to go down to Louisiana? Is this Baton Rouge, right?
it's closer to New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay. Yeah, let's see who wants to get together. Reach out to us or drop a comment in there. Let's all get together while we're there. That'd be a blast. We'll do an FWA kind of networking event.
Yeah, I think that'd be amazing. And like, I'm pretty sure JC Gurry goes to this event every year as well.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm sure they're at every event. They
Yeah,
had people out sick last week too.
they did.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we are going to have some stuff there. We're going to have also we're going to be bringing some other gate safety stuff related, stuff over to there. Hopefully we'll be doing a little bit some of the gate safety summit stuff and stuff as well. At least kind of having some discussions on that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. What about the new pricing? I saw some new pricing came out on FWA Health.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was a price increase because people are using their FWA health plans, but it only went up $5 a month. So it was nothing crazy or scary. But I'm pretty excited. I've been using it for like since March now. I've used the healthcare, I've used the vision, I've used the dental. I haven't had any problems. I didn't have to change any doctors. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, our sites are updated with pricing now too, right?
Yeah, so I think if you go to fwahealth.com, it'll redirect over to fenceworkers.org FWA Health site right now. So a little bit more information where you can log in. It's pretty cool though. What they've done here. I think they added a new package this year. So you can definitely get healthcare from $95 or actually $49 up to $95. So a whole family for $265 a month. And I want to go over a little bit of it because I think sometimes people don't really understand what it is, right? They think, oh, what is that? Like, is it like Aflac or something? But did you have to switch doctors or anything like that?
I didn't have to switch any doctors. It was honestly the only thing I haven't used on it is like telemed and urgent care. But I've been to my doctor for preventative medicine,
Yeah.
preventative female, like the whole nine. Like I've done all my checkups. I've been to the doctor. I've actually had some cancer screenings this year just to,
Wow.
cross their T's and dot their I's. So no cancer here, but I mean, yeah, I've used it. I've been able to keep my doctors, and it's been an absolute blessing if I'm being honest with you. I know this took you like a really long time to kind of finalize, but like I don't think people really know the motivation behind FWA Health, and I feel like it's time for people to know why this was so important to you.
Well, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I think you and maybe a handful of people actually know about what me and my wife go through with her cancer. So we started, and the reason I'm so passionate about this for the industry and why I wanted to push for it, and why I reached out to even other associations, see if I could help, and why I ended up having to go do it on my own. People just weren't interested in it, but it was something that I felt was important for us and the industry. I've even had people come up, even, and I'll get into why I did it, but I'll have people walk up and say, you know what, Brian, if you wouldn't have created this FWA Health, me and my wife wouldn't have health insurance, and we wouldn't even be in the fence industry anymore. So, and I think that's great that they're still in the fence industry, but I can tell you this, that when my wife got sick, I mean, it was like we went out, it was probably 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago. And it was like on Valentine's Day, we went out and we came back, she wasn't feeling well. And the next morning she couldn't get off the couch, and cancer ate one of her vertebrae. So she's in a wheelchair. So I was in a panic, and it was, I felt guilty because I didn't have health insurance. I felt like I should have provided this, and, as a man and all this stuff. But it was never that big of a deal for me. So, I went and tried to get health insurance. Nobody wanted to talk to us. Cancer hospitals don't want to talk to us. We went to the hospital, and, you go on some emergency care kind of stuff. And,
Right.
and honestly, had we had the health insurance, it's the difference between finding out at stage 1 rather than stage 4, where every Christmas, you don't know if it's going to be your last Christmas. So, we, went through 30, 60 days in the hospital to get her out of a wheelchair. And then since then, every 3 weeks we drive to Arizona and we go get chemo. So she's sick, for a week, and then feels a little bit better. And then we go back, and this is what we deal with while we're doing all this stuff. So I'm passionate about this FWA Health because it's literally the difference between you finding out that, something wrong with you, not just cancer, but something else. And not just keeping people in our industry, but keeping them healthy. And then what happens if you got, also, your child or somebody gets hurt and they can't go to the hospital, and maybe they, it turns into something serious. An ear infection could turn into some kid losing his hearing because somebody didn't have it. And us as an industry, we're talking tens of billions of dollars in an industry. We can fly around, and we can, we can all stay in fancy hotels and do big conventions, and we can do, we can spend all this money on our industry, on ourselves, but we can't put together, in decades of doing this, we can't put together healthcare for companies of 1 or 2 people, which are the ones that need it the most. Because when you get a company that's large enough, the price of the insurance isn't as big of a deal. So we couldn't afford it, and we didn't have it. And it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. And we, almost lost my wife over it. So, we live 3 weeks at a time. So now, because we didn't have health insurance, so I wanted it for our industry. So I spent a year on this, and everybody kept saying you couldn't do it. And went through 1,000 different insurance companies, and finally found a group that would put a package together for us. So we worked, it's a passion of love on this thing. And
it definitely is. Why, I mean, I can hear in your voice. I know this isn't always easy conversation, because, when people think of Brian, they think of the fun guy, but I mean, they don't know that you've never missed a doctor's appointment. They don't know that last year after the show, y'all were in Phoenix for how long? 2 months?
yeah, we were a solid 30 days with, like, I don't know, something like 20 radiation treatments. That was right after the show last year. And then this year, before the show, the week prior, we spent time down there getting scans and doing stuff. This was the week before our show this year. And so it weighs heavy on us on that. And I think that we can make a difference. And when I hear that hundreds of people are on this health insurance, I think that, that is more successful than any other association our industry's ever been, if we can get health insurance for one person. So that right there, it was worth everything and all the hard work that we're doing. But so I mean, and this health insurance has the stuff that would have prevented stuff that happened to us, if you do it. And it's the plans are, there's no reason we can't offer it to our employees at $50, $100 a month, instead of, it's not $700, $800 like some of the other plans. And you don't have to have 10 people, and if it's just you and somebody in your, a company, or you and your wife, or you and your brother, you can get health insurance. You don't have to have 10 people. We struggled to get health insurance back then, because even then we finally got some. I mean, we had to borrow, we had no money. We had to borrow from a friend that could put $15,000 on his credit card just to get admitted into the hospital. And then they said, you got 3 days to come up with $250,000 or we're throwing you out. And
That's crazy.
That's literally what it's like if you don't have health insurance and something catastrophic happens, or something like that. And we could have prevented that, by having it. So we are fortunate that, we fight it, and you're strong, and we've got a good support group.
Yes, she is.
We're
Yes, you do.
So
No,
besides that, Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Way to twist this
I
whole
mean,
one. Right?
it's a good thing for people to know and understand that, you're passionate about it. Women of FWA are passionate about it. We have a pink ribbon on the shoulder of all of our t-shirts and pullovers, and that's in honor of Yadira. But I mean, it's not just Yadira; it affects every single one of us, right? Like, she's not the only person in the fence industry who's affected by
Yeah. Yeah.
any
And
type of cancer. So
I think that the reason I also bonded so much with the women of FWA and wanted that whole thing created is because in our industry they weren't very compassionate about what we're starting. I mean, I was baffled about how little our industry really cared about having health insurance for
right.
everybody. So, but the women of FWA, they cared, and it's funny how the companies, the small medium sized companies, they care. It's just it wasn't being provided. And it wasn't even being worked on. We were spending all of our time, and I guess I was just angry about it. We have
Yeah.
time to go. We have time to go pass laws and regulations and talk to the government and hire lobbyists and do all this stuff. But you telling me that our industry in decades could not have sat and did what I did in a year with almost no resources, and yet they have unlimited resources in our industry, and we could not have done this. Why wasn't it done before is something I was thinking to myself. So, and if they're not supporting this and people aren't supporting this, then you got to ask yourself why.
Why? 100% why.
Right?
And
Yeah.
we're not done here. Like,
Nope.
we're working hard to find 401ks and retirement plans for these small business
Yep.
owners and medium-sized business owners of one employee,
Yep.
like, and we're not going to stop until we find it. Like, I'm so passionate about that. How many times do we see people online trying to sell their fence company and it's not worth anything anymore? They've
Yeah.
they've not been able to, start and creating a future for themselves past working, right? Like, we're all
Yeah.
working till we're dying.
Yeah.
And that's got to end. We got to
Yeah. And
start caring about everybody.
Yadir's right, and we're just getting started. I mean, this is
Just
just the
getting
beginning.
started.
Just the beginning to empowering our industry to its full potential. And if we don't start taking care of our fence companies and our gate companies and everybody of all sizes, our industry is going to dwindle down. We'll lose it all. We'll separate, and there'll be no more associations. There'll be no more trade shows. There'll be no more resources. There'll be no more community working together to solve problems. So I'm pretty excited to see the direction it's going right now. And yeah, that's definitely our passion. You're right, 401ks, all that stuff we're working on. But this is just one thing that's
Just
going
one
on.
thing,
This is
right?
just one thing, but it's a big deal because I know we just renewed the policy and things like that. And this is a pretty amazing program. So if we should be getting this out there to everybody. Minor medical, all these different plans. You go in different co-pays. This goes on and on. You urgent cares, prescription drugs, wellness. These are all different programs. You can add hospital, preventative. Look at all the preventative stuff. And I know you were always interested in this because you said a lot of stuff that people don't even include this. And
A lot of people don't include any female service at all. So look how many preventative services for women, including pregnant women, are up there. Like,
yeah,
I had Blue Cross Blue Shield before, and most of it didn't apply to pregnant women at all.
yeah,
So that's a
yeah,
big deal.
yeah. More stuff for children under 25, and it just goes on and on. I mean, it's dental, different deductibles on the dental, $50 individual. Have you used the dental yet?
I've used the dental. I've got my cleaning. I got one more cleaning this year, and only thing I paid for was the little extra for like the to make them last longer, whatever that stuff is, like
Yeah.
$20.
What is that? Dentures and stuff in there. I can't see. I can see them. The
Dentures.
left is a little low. Can you shove it back in?
Yeah, I didn't have to change my dentist or anything. It was great.
Yeah. Vision. I know you're using
Vision.
Vision, huh?
Yeah. I found out this year I actually have dry eye disease, like, what on earth? So I had to get like fancy contacts, and I had to get IPL done to my eyes, and
Irritated dry eyes.
yeah. It's Las Vegas is what it is. It ruined me forever.
I don't even know what the fresh beanie thing is. I think it's just a login portal, but that's kind of cool. I haven't been in this part of it yet.
I think that's where you can go in and actually look up if your doctor is in the program. And like I said, I didn't have to change any of my doctors.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, plans up there. Take a look if you want to add employees or add just you and your spouse, add your kids. Great plans and is cost effective. So I'm
don't
super excited.
forget, you can participate in the plan every month. open enrollment begins every single month on the 19th for the
Yeah.
following month.
Yeah.
So there's no, wait until November or October like, you do with a traditional company. You have the
Yeah.
opportunity to jump into it every single month if you are not a participant currently.
Yeah. Are you going up to Indiana next week, or is it next week? I don't even know what day it is. It's 25th.
Yeah,
I'm going on the
y'all are
6th.
good. The 6th to the 10th, you dear told me. I don't know. Somebody said we're camping, and I don't know how I feel about that. In
It's Sean,
Indiana in
yeah,
October.
Sean King's on Mr. Fence Academy stuff's going on, so it's like a fence camp. I'm really curious what's going to go on up there, but
I'd rather go to his retreat in Gatlinburg. I
what a
might just wait for that one.
big fancy building. No, we
Yeah.
fly into Nashville on that Sunday, so I think we're going to stay the night maybe, or it's only 2.5 hours away, so we might drive up that night to Sean's house, and then I think Sean from CMM's coming up as well. I think there's gonna be a bunch of people coming in, and then we might head down to Louisville.
Kentucky?
Yeah, we
That'd
might
be
head down to
fun.
Louisville. Like to check that thing out. So I've never been down there, so we're kind of excited about that.
I've got a couple of fence companies who've been reaching out that in that area that, would like us to come by. Like, maybe you
Yeah,
should stop at a couple of different places. You know what I mean?
give me a list. Maybe we should come do some videos or something for my fence life. What that's gonna be a Wednesday. I'll be there on Wednesday, so we'll figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find me a spot. If anybody has around Louisville on Wednesday, if anybody has a fence company or something they want us to stop by, let us know.
That'd be cool. I love that idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm guessing you didn't tell Yadira that y'all are camping.
I didn't.
My bad, girl. You'll be
I don't know.
camping, but in February, don't worry, you will be in a cruise ship in a proper room. So there's some
Well,
give and
no.
take here.
Well, and Heather's going to be there, so I'm pretty sure they got some plans. They'll probably do something.
Yeah.
I'm sure something going on. She's probably not going to want to be out there digging holes with us in
No.
Sean's backyard,
No.
And then October, that's October. So October 17th, we're going to Wassa in Temecula. If anybody's wanting to go to that trade show, let us know. We're going to be there with Mark and Mary. JC Gurry's going to be there as
I
well.
love it.
So that's the you're pretty familiar with that one because that's on the access and gate operator side.
I've actually never been to the Wassa show before. I mean, I'm familiar with all the companies and the association itself, but I've never done that one. But then like right after that, then we have Fence Week, right?
Fence Week. That's going to be a blast. That's what is that, November 4th? I don't even have the information to pull up right here, but that's going to be what, November 4th to the 7th, I think. We'll have to get some information out there. We're going to start doing some marketing on that.
I know that I'm going to go to the one in Lafayette, which is an hour west of me, and then I'm going to go to the one in Houma, which is an hour and a half south of me. And then if I have time, I'm going to go out to Billy Grove and High Still's place, and like right outside of Pensacola, which is only like 3 hours from me. So I hope to like really, see a third of the country doing it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go into the other room because that's where we're doing it. But we'll be back in time for that. And we got 22 instructors. So Mr. Fence Academy and Fence University have come together for this, and we're hoping to make this an event every year that hopefully we get 100 different instructors at some point. They have a booth at Wassa. So
I love it.
yeah, so we're going to be doing this every year. We're going to probably get 100 different instructors, do 50 different classes at the exact same time. So right now we're on track to do 11 to 12 classes around the country at the exact same time.
Yes,
So
it's gonna be awesome.
that's something that's never been done. So that's gonna be really cool. And
Yeah,
then
no,
when is that? November. Yadira and I, we were just at Olive Garden today. We're updating our calendars to see what was all the stuff going on.
There's a lot.
She's going to be going to Mexico, I think, for a week in between the two. So
okay, so she'll be back for November 20th for LLSSA in Kenner, Louisiana.
Yep.
Okay, good. And
December
then
4th is
December,
step one.
and then we're gonna get a couple of days off for Christmas, right, Brian?
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna see what's going on. So end of the year stuff, right? We're still working on information. I'll be in Mexico. Can we do one in Mexico? Oh, maybe that's what she could try to do one. Oh, she's gonna be in Mexico during Fence Week. That's right. So we need to get her to do it down there in Spanish. At the same time.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, then after that, after that class in February, I think step one, we will take it easy for the rest of the year, other than our normal work.
Other than our normal stuff, yeah. So basically, no rest for the weary is all I just heard.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, I think yeah, I love that we're ending 2024 with a bang, with lots of events and things going on. Um, I'm I'm just super excited for 2025. Like
Don't
next
forget
year's
about
gonna kick butt, man. It's just gonna keep getting better and better. And then, oh man, I called Megan today.
that. Did you?
Well, yes, I was like, "Hey, girl, I have some questions," and she's like, "Oh yeah, let's talk about it." Like she is awesome. I don't know where you found her, but
Yeah.
you can already download the app and start looking at the excursions. And like, I'm like, should I get the drink, uh, the unlimited drink package,
No,
or
you already got the unlimited drink package. So what do you mean? Should I get? You
I even got my kid the unlimited bubbles, which is like all the sodas he can drink. I'm like, okay, I think he deserves it.
Marissa said she's bringing Marissa from her office on FWA side. She's bringing her kid too, I think, and her husband. So I think, man, there's at least a dozen or so rooms already. We haven't even really marketed. So hopefully we can get a couple hundred people on this cruise. How cool would that be?
I think it'd be awesome. There's one day out to sea. You know, we can all just kind of fence fam it up. I'm excited about that.
Oh, we're going to think of something to do. We're going to think of some course of some sort that's going to be happening. Probably that sales and marketing condensed down to a 1-day course, so that everybody can justify why they went on the cruise.
Mary said that they got the drink package.
I know, right? I don't know if I did. I probably did. When I first set it up, I just selected my room, and then
yeah, no, they just released like all the add-ons and stuff like that. I probably have $3,000 in add-ons right now, so I'm trying to dwindle it down to like what actually makes sense.
And it was
Look,
only
Nikki
like
Hage is coming.
Nikki Hage, yeah. It was only a $400 room to start with. Now somehow you managed to get it up to 3,000 when you're done, right?
Just saying, it's my first cruise. I got to do it right, right?
Yeah. So, tell me about the CEUs you said in Louisiana. We're going to be able to do
we are offering. Yes, we're offering some continuing education courses. I'm going through our coursework right now and submitting it to the state of Louisiana for approval, which should be pretty quick turnaround. I just haven't decided what course we're going to do.
Let's hear some recommendations, everybody. Let's make this fun, right?
That's actually not a bad idea. Like, right? As long as it's generic, like it can be marketing, it can be sales, it can be gate operator and access, like, you know. And I don't know who's teaching it, if it's going to be me or you or Yadira. So I guess we have to kind of decide that as well. Luckily, the coursework that we have already in our system, like we're all extremely familiar with and feel confident about. So
yeah, it's gonna be easy. By then we're gonna have this, in fact, we'll have a lot of the literature and stuff out on this other stuff. So super cool. Thanks for coming on, Susan.
Thanks for having me.
I didn't have a lot prepared. So
that might be my fault too. You called me yesterday and said, "What are we doing?" I was like, "Oh, we've got plenty of time."
So everybody knows Susan's normally in the background, and she's got control of one of my monitors basically, and she's got all these highlights and bullet points and stuff. Where's my Google Doc? I don't know what's going on, Susan.
I feel like the show threw us all off, right? And then like I was sick the week after, which just kind of completely threw me off. And so like we had the Women of FWA podcast yesterday, and I'm like, this is weird. I haven't been in front of a screen in 2 weeks, like this, like, I'll get it. I'll get the game back on.
So we're excited. Yeah. So bottom line, everybody, support your industry, and we're going to support you guys. Support us all. Honestly, all the associations have something great to offer. All the people, not just associations, but all the companies that are doing their training themselves, Door King and everybody. I know I'm not naming everybody right now, but support everybody that's willing to get in there and support you guys. And we're doing this together. We can grow a stronger industry, and we can definitely build something great. We can bring back what this industry used to be like. There's no doubt. And it was amazing. It still is, but we can make it even better, and we can make it stronger. We can validate our industry. And I know sometimes people look down and say, hey, you guys are just like handyman. Anybody can do this. And the way we're going to prove to the rest of rest of the contractor and everybody that we're here to stay and we're legitimate is by us getting together and banding together and supporting each other and becoming strong.
Yes.
There's no doubt, having a voice.
Yes.
Anyway, Susan,
Man, I love this industry, man. I love it.
I know you were just feeding your kid. He's probably running around loose, writing on your walls and stuff.
He made a bowl of ice cream. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, I needed a dessert. I'm like, okay. I have to go on a podcast. Bye.
Right. Where's your mom?
Nobody was home. Like, he had to fend for himself. Like, they're all off doing whatever grown-ups do.
Stuff that we don't do. I know, because we're always working on this stuff at night.
Right.
What are they doing? Making chili. Yeah, Mary's at home making chili and cleaning out garbage cans. So all right, we will see you guys all later next week, Wednesday. I know hopefully we see some of you guys at the Step 1 marketing class. So we will see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Peace.